Here we have, at refinery29.com, an article by Sarah Coughlin entitled, I asked 3 astrologers to interpret my birth chart. Here's how their readings compare. This is my chart, says the author, courtesy of Astrodienst. It looks pretty messy and not unlike a geometry problem, but here are some of the key details to keep in mind. My sun sign is Capricorn, my moon sign is Virgo, and my rising sign is Pisces. I have a Capricorn stellium, meaning there are at least 3 celestial bodies placed in that sign. In my case, the Sun, Mercury, Uranus, and Neptune are all hanging out in Capricorn. My placements in general are in Earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. A bunch of my zodiac houses are empty, meaning they have no planets in them. That's what the blank space in the lower left quadrant of my chart indicates. Prior to receiving the astrologer's informed takes on my chart, I expected them to draw most of their conclusions from my earthly placements and my stellium. Earth signs get a bad rap as being taskmasters and basically no fun, and I was fully prepared for that to be the gist of my readings. It turns out my chart is a little more nuanced than I thought. Number 1, Mecca Woods. What kind of first impressions do you think I give? The impression that I get is of someone who may be shy, reserved, or even a bit awkward at first glance, but warms up to others when you get to know them. This is because of the heavy emphasis of the elements of water and earth in your chart, which are typically not as outgoing as the elements of air and fire. However, I do get the sense that you tend to care deeply about others, whether it's friends or the larger collective, even going above and beyond for them at times, especially when it pertains to their well-being. What does this chart suggest about my love life? Even though you may not want to admit it, you are a romantic at heart. When you love fiercely, and you love deep, and may even experience trouble with letting people go or getting over heartbreak. At most, you need a die-hard romantic just like you, who's emotionally intelligent and willing to dive to the depths with you in the name of love. This means you'll have to watch out for emotionally stunted types that take advantage of your ginormous heart while being unwilling to grow or share the emotional labor in the relationship. Okay, let's take the next take on number 2. Tali Edut. What kind of first impression do you think I give? With a Pisces rising on the chart, you may come across as more mysterious or dreamier than you actually are. People will have trouble reading you and might even underestimate your abilities if you don't advocate for yourself. What does the chart suggest about my love life? With the moon in Virgo, you need someone who is grounded and stable in order to feel safe. Your Venus and Mars are both water signs, so the sentimental, family-oriented type will make you swoon. You're not a huge casual dater, if at all. It's too unnerving for you. And you're probably drawn to sensitive types who are into music, art, food, and nesting. What does it mean that so many of my houses are empty? Empty houses are nothing to freak about. It's kind of like having a blank canvas on which to create. A planet occupying a house brings energy to the area of life the house represents. And that can mean karma or drama. Your 11th house has a lot of action, and that's the tech sector. Any surprise you work for a website? No. And the third one. What kind of first impression do you think I give? With a Pisces rising and the Sun conjunct Neptune, people may not have an impression of you that's entirely accurate. In fact, you yourself may wonder who you are at times. With Pisces and Neptune energy, appearances may be deceiving, not in a malevolent way, but in that you're always shifting and accommodating to your environment. Pisces risings may struggle with choosing a persona to project into the world. This dynamic can give way to someone who has a very vivid imagination that may rival waking reality. In this case, there's a healthy amount of solid earth energy to give a foundation for this dreamy and shape-shifting energy onto which to latch. giving it something practical to work with. What does the chart suggest about my love life? When looking at relationships or romance in the charts, we typically look at the 7th house. Here we have Virgo on the 7th house cusp, as well as Jupiter in Libra. Jupiter usually points to where we have an abundance of something, or where we can learn to grow and expand as people. In your case, you may find personal growth through relating to others. Over the years, there may be many opportunities to partner romantically with others, as Jupiter is the Give Me More planet, and it's in Libra, a sign that is focused on learning balance on self through working with others. Then we look at the sign on the cusp, Virgo. Virgo deals in the material and tangible. There may be a desire to join with people who are down to earth and reliable. In your chart, Virgo is ruled by Mercury in Capricorn, which gives off the vibe of wanting partners who are practical, hard-working, and possibly even traditional. So let's start with the eerily similar. All three of them said not to worry about the empty houses, and brought up my Pisces rising while discussing my first impression. As I expected, they highlighted my stellium as the source of my work ethic and my love of rules. But their readings still differed slightly. For example, when it came to discussing my dating life, both Adut and Belgrave focused on my Virgo placements. I forgot to give the name of the last reader. That would have been Janelle Belgrave. My apologies, Janelle. Both Adut and Belgrave focused on my Virgo placements, while Woods considered how my Virgo moon interacted with my Capricorn sun. No one was completely off base in their analysis, but each of their interpretations were, nevertheless, different. Let this be a reminder to anyone seeking romantic guidance from the stars. Your chart cannot give you a clear-cut answer about your love life. Luckily, there were not any radically different findings across all three astrologers' readings, though they may have looked at different points in my chart to reach their conclusions. They all ended up roughly in the same place. And it goes without saying, my untrained eye would not have noticed half the details these seasoned stargazers pointed out. So if you've already Googled your birth chart on your own and came up wanting more, it's worth it to reach out to an astrologer in person or by email. You might just realize there's more to your signs than you think.